Hey, realistic question. You think they're going to bring Jeff back?
Well,
and how could you if you're a promoter?
It's probably for quite some time, and I think we said this recently, it's probably counterproductive to bring Jeff back if he's doing well, to put him in the environment where it appears he doesn't do that well, even if that's, the thing that he loves. He loves his wrestling and he loves his music, but to do either of those things, you go on the road, you go around things you probably shouldn't be going around. And then if he was in his 20s or even 30s, but at his age and the damage he's done to his body, then how can you say, well, take a few years and get your personal life in order, and then maybe it'll be comfortable for you to come back, because he might not have a few years. So, and we don't know what his current contractual situation is. I assume whatever contract he signed at the start, if it is still in effect, would still be in effect. But with all this that's gone on, did Tony just say, maybe this isn't working out? Who knows? I don't know that it's, it may be worth it business-wise. I mean, my God, who else have they got that can even get, the interest that Jeff can get? But is it best for Jeff?
But let me ask you that. Do you think Jeff has the same interest now that he had a year ago or 2 years ago?
No. No, he doesn't have the same level of interest he had when he was the hottest wrestler in the world fucking 10 years ago or whatever, and shit started happening. But grading on their scale, on the AEW roster, he's got more interest and more name recognition and more fans, more whatever than most. But at the same time, maybe the people who really just love Jeff Hardy want to see him come back and wrestle, and they don't think about his personal situation. Do a lot of people, are they thinking, well, now let's just see if it's a train wreck? We're interested just to see what he's going to do when he comes back. And they're not hoping for a good outcome. I don't but to do more damage to his body, to exacerbate his personal issues, probably a thing that he shouldn't be wrestling for a while. But how long does he have left to wrestle at all?
I don't think it's worth the risk. If it happens one more time, Tony Khan and his organization can't say, oh, we didn't know, or we didn't think it would happen. I mean, it's just too risky at this point. The guy has not shown any sign that he could take personal responsibility and do things that wouldn't endanger other people.
Well, we don't know what he's been doing since the last time that he did that. So, we can't say that now. Right now, we know Jeff Hardy's not responsible. Maybe he is getting responsible. He hadn't made any more fucking news. But you can't stay responsible when you're doing the shit that he does, either damaging his body or going out on the road or whatever the fuck. He was going to was he not going to a trial hearing for something else when they pulled him over and he was 3 times the legal limit?
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was going to get a CAT scan.
No, that's right. He was going to get a CAT scan for his brain damage. So at 9 o'clock in the morning, so he decided to have multiple shots of Fireball. Because he wasn't home.
That's right.
He was in Florida some fucking where. He needs to be home. I think the best thing that everybody should do when they have troubles, go home, get away from your goddamn, teases, and, just control your environment for a little while.
Even if AEW decided to bring him back, even if Nick Jackson goes and begs Tony and says he's a changed guy and I forgive him and you should forgive him and let's give him a 8th chance, how would you use him? Because you certainly can't use him as a singles in a main event situation because I think we saw that in the ring, there were a lot of issues during his previous run in AEW, even though you need main eventers, and you also can't rely on him. So how would you even use Jeff Hardy if you have him back? Do you just put him in a tag team with Matt and just use him like that until the end of the days?
That's the thing, is that a reunion like the Hardys, they should have had a plan in place. Maybe this was their plan, but they should have had a good plan in place at the start to maximize their first 2 or 3 high-profile matches and then give it to them sporadically from that point on, because when they brought them back in with underneath guys and spoiled the first reunion on a match that was not goddamn in any way going to interest anybody, then that took some of the bloom off of it. And then you should know you're living on borrowed time with either one, because they brain damaged Matt 2 or 3 times before Jeff got there in this company. And with the stuff they do, they should have known a chance of injury was high. So they could have made the most out of 2 or 3 high-profile matches, obviously a pay-per-view first, then a big TV match, then maybe the next pay-per-view, and then, make less is more, make the Hardys wrestling for the next 9 months something halfway special, and you would have got your return out of it. But as it was, like with everything else, Tony couldn't wait and just has booking diarrhea and just blows everything out there. And then by the time that Jeff had his incident, well, fucking, he's going to get checked for brain damage also that they gave him. The Hardys were just 2 of the boys at that point. It'd only been, 2 or 3 months.